Yeah, those are the type of fucked up videos I used to watch almost every single night. It all started back when I was like 13, 14 years old. I can't remember the exact age, but this was 2017. Yeah, 2017. So I was about 13, 14 years old thereabouts, and I just got my first phone, my very first smartphone. It was LG F200S. Can never forget. But I had good times with that phone. It was a great. I was like, this 13-year-old teenager, having my first phone and everything. And of course, I did what every teenager around that age range does. Just play video games all day. I played Subway Surf and basically all the games that existed that era. Yeah, I was very active in playing all of them on mobile phone. Then also, this is when I started to get introduced to social media. So at this point, pretty much before then, I barely ever used social media. Like, I didn't really have a phone to use it, but this time I had it, so I was able to create accounts and everything. And the one I was most active on at the time was Facebook. And the reason I was the most active on Facebook at the time was because I was broke. I'm still broke now, but the main thing is I was broke then. Like, Facebook at the time, they used to do this feature where they will give you free mode. So basically, even if you don't have access to internet, as long as your data is on, like your mobile data on your phone is on down, and some network providers that we have here, some of them, it didn't work for all of them. So as long as the data is on down and is that particular network provider, Facebook will still work, but it just won't show you pictures. So it was basically called free mode at the time. I don't know if they still do it till now, but then they used to call it free mode. And so with this free mode, you basically can use Facebook. You can message people, you can scroll about, do whatever, but just you can't see any pictures. So it's almost like just text. But obviously, since this was like a new feature and all that, and definitely to have some glitch, I was able to like hack the system, because sometimes like pictures will show, or sometimes if you click on someone's profile, maybe the first picture will show, then the rest is will now be like you're using free mode, so you can't see. But once you click that first one, you can just like scroll to the next one, then the next one will now show, the next one will show. So like if you click on the picture and you go in view and you scroll, like in view like that, you'll be able to see all the pictures. But if you're seeing it from like the whole page perspective, you won't be able to see it. So little glitches like that, that was also like basically that was like the fun of it then, using Facebook and everything. So I remember this particular day, I don't know what exactly came over me. Either I saw it somewhere or I just had the thoughts or whatever. I just had this, like, I remember I typed into the search bar like sexy girls or naked girls, something like that. Then for the first time, then these pictures came out, and these pictures were basically pictures of girls dressed in like sexy ways. They wear like bikinis and shorts, really shorts. They wear really short shorts, and they will wear they should basically dressed in sexy, provocative ways. And for my 13-year-old brain at the time, so I was like, whoa, like I'd never seen anything this like graphic before. And mind you, none of these girls were naked, none of these girls were like, it wasn't new, they were just wearing clothes, but just dressed in like sexy way and all that. And I remember that basically became the new thing, the new obsession. So almost every time I went to Facebook, that's what I always do. So I'll search for these sexy girls, and I would basically they're exploring all the pages and accounts. And I'll go, since it's free mode, most of the pictures won't show, but once you click on the first one, you can and swipe, you can basically see all of them. So I kept doing so that, swiping, looking at everything, and oh my god, my brain was getting blown every day. But I remember then, just the like girls dressing in sexy way, it wasn't hitting anymore. So then from there, it's graduated to girls just strictly wearing bikinis. So they were always wearing bikinis. Then from there, it's graduated to them now being naked. But even though they were naked, they usually used to like hide their boobs, or they will hide their like pussy and all those things. But maybe to just be like their ass or something. Like maybe they will lie down, then their ass will just be showing. But from there, it's graduated again to the next one, which was also like basically everything. Boobs, ass. Like it was like it just kept getting worse. I basically kept graduating to the next most vulgar, next most provocative, best, next most like most graphic thing. And I remember then, I think that before it wasn't every day, like, it just be like maybe one random time when I'm bored on Facebook and I don't know what to do again, just be like, oh yeah, I can search for this and this, these dirty pictures I used to look at. I didn't really see it as dirty at the time. That's the funny thing. I just saw it like, this thing. I just look at them and life goes on basically. But slowly too, that one also started to become an addiction. For it was just like every once in a while, then every once in a few weeks, and every few days, and pretty much every day and every hour. Like it became an obsession like that. And I remember at the time pictures weren't hitting again, pictures just weren't doing it again. Then I graduated to the next most graphic one, which was the hub. I remember that night I was using my laptop. Then we had this like family laptop, so I was doing my homework in school. It was like midnight or something, so everybody was asleep. My dad on his hotspots from his phone down, so I could use the laptop to connect to do my homework. So basically I was done my homework, it was midnight and all that. And that was the very first time I remember I typed like, I think sexy girls or sexy video, something like that, something to that nature. Then in Google, the first page I saw was Pornhub, and I clicked on it, and bro, like this one was just next level. This one was crazy. I still remember the very, very first video I watched. So I know this sounds fucked up and all that, but the very, very first video I remember watching, it was like a gym. So basically it was like this gym setting. Then these girls were like working out, so they'll be doing like maybe pull-ups or push-ups or lifting weights and something. And as they're like lifting the weights and doing the pull-ups or whatever, guys will be under them like fucking them. Like it was that fucked up. The video was that dirty. And as they're fucking them also, girls will be screaming and all that. So I know I shouldn't be saying this much detail, but bro, that's why I watched that. I imagine watching all this type of stuff when you're 14 years old. That at the time it was the wildest stuff I had ever seen in my life. Like bro, like I saw it raw, I saw it HD, I saw everything. And that was basically the beginning of the end. That was the beginning of the end. So that was like, but still, it was still this thing I did like fairly once in a while, especially the video ones, because I didn't, obviously I was very broke then. And even though I had the phone for a while, later the phone eventually spoiled. Then like I would now mostly be using my mom's phone. Then I had another one that was pretty busty. Like, so my phone use wasn't 100% consistent. Also, I was quite broke at the time. And then at night, midnight, internet used to be significantly cheaper. So if I want to use the internet, also I had to wait till like midnight. But I wasn't always able to do that because I was still going to school like every day and all that. So basically, all these little factors here and there, like I wasn't doing it every day. So still this thing I would do, once in a while. But slowly but surely started to graduate from once in a while to once every few weeks. From once in a while to like once every few months, then once every few weeks, then once every few days, and pretty much every day. Then at this point I was addicted. I remember I was just down bad addicted. But the funny thing is that I didn't still really see it as an addiction. Like I just went on with life. It's almost like the way you use social media. You don't really sit down and say, wow, I'm addicted to social media, I'm addicted to Instagram. Like you just use Instagram and when you close it up, you just carry on with your day. You don't sit down there to say, oh my god, I am addicted. Like you just use Instagram and when you're done, you just carry on with life. So that's how I used to see it. But I remember the very, very first day, it really struck me. So around this time now, it was now like 2019, 2020, so we started to go into the pandemic and all that. Then around this period, I also started to, get into self-improvement, started watching self-improvement videos and all that. So I now started to have the concept and idea of NoFap and all that. So I knew I used to watch porn here and there, and I should probably stop. But I didn't really see myself as addicted. I was like, yeah, if I don't want to watch it, I can just stop. I also remember the very first day I fucked, like the very first day, like, I actually busted a nut. So all this while prior to this, I've just been watching the videos, but I never used to bust nuts. I'll just sit down there and watch it and just be like, wow, oh my god, it's so raw, so crazy. I remember these very nights I was, it was midnight again. And that's not the time I also noticed, like, anytime I wanted to do this dirty act, it was always middle of the night. Like, I didn't used to do it during the day, always middle of the night when I'm alone, when, like, nobody is there and I have internet with my phone or, laptop or whatever. So I remember this very day, middle of the night once again, and I was watching these videos. And I remember there was this time, the like fucking started. Then while they were fucking, I was like with my blankets or something. I was like, man, this looks so raw and so like sexy or whatever. And I remember taking the blankets and using it to like practice. And as I practiced a little bit, I felt this crazy, intense feeling. Like it was so much energy. Like it just felt wrong. Like I'd never felt this way before. In fact, I knew it, I busted a nut. And I remember looking at it and I was shocked, I was like scared. Like this stuff was just coming out of my body. And it felt wrong, it felt, disgusting, it felt weird at the time. But I remember that was the very, very first time I busted a nut. And yeah, you might, laugh at me. At this time, I can't remember how old I was, but I was definitely in my teenage years. And you might be like, oh my god, I was so like old before I did it. And to some degree, I feel like it's also like a good thing. Like I probably might have been around maybe 15 this period, and there are many people that I know that probably before them, maybe like when they were even like 13 or 12, they were already busting nuts, which is just pretty fucked up. But basically, I remember I busted a nut that day, and like also it was that thing that it wasn't every day, it was like once in a while, and every few days, every few weeks, then finally it was like I was addicted. But I remember the very, very first time it hit me. But I remember the very, very, very first time it actually hit me, like, fuck, I am addicted to this stuff. So it was the pandemic this time. So all of us were, basically at home, locked up and all that. So I can't remember what happened exactly, but I just remember like everybody went out. Even though it was the pandemic and technically I'm not supposed to go out, but everybody, like I was basically alone by myself. So there was these tablets we had at the time, like these general tablets for everybody. Like everybody used to use it. So I remember taking that tablet, and while I was by myself, busting the nuts and all that, this is really fucked up, but I took that tablet, then I positioned it in one particular way or something to record me busting the nuts. I don't know why I had that stupid idea, but I was just like, I want to see what I look like from third person view. So I basically recorded the video. Then I think I was in the bedroom. So while I was in the bathroom recording this video, I was recording it, and I sat down to watch it. Then I remember I heard somebody like coming. Somebody entered the room, but not the bathroom. Someone just entered the room. So me in the bathroom, I just quickly deleted the video. I didn't bother watching it again. So I just deleted the video, carried on with life, just went on with my day. Then I remember a few days or few weeks later, I think it must have been a few days. So I was going through this tablet again. I can't remember what I was looking for, but I remember going to recycle bin, and then I saw the video. And I remember then I now clicked on it and watched it, and oh my god, bro, this stuff was disgusting as fuck. Like I couldn't even watch it for like up to 5 seconds. But once I just saw myself there in the frame, it was messed up. And this time I now actually deleted it from the tab. And that's another thing I'm still scared of till today. Like I just hope nobody actually went to recycle bin and saw that video. If not, that would have been pretty fucked up. Like I don't think I'll be able to live with that. But I remember after deleting it, that was when I sat down there and I was like, fuck, like I'm addicted to this stuff. Like I need to stop doing this thing. I need to really stop. I think at this time I was around 17 years old, thereabouts. So that's when I really started to like put more effort into trying to quit. And ever since then till date, it has been a battle. Like it almost felt like I just kept falling down the deep end. Like I just kept going down, and no matter how hard I fought, no matter how hard I tried to stay away, I just couldn't. Like I remember the most I ever abstained from it was like 45 days, something like that. And those 45 days, like it was just very hard. It almost felt basically impossible. Like some periods I'll go very much without it. I could go like maybe in like every month I only bust like once. So like let's say like 3-4 months I only bust like 3 times. Then on some other periods it's almost like every day, almost every day I was busting. And it was just like I was just down bad. Like I just couldn't stop. I was addicted, and I remember this thing used to cause me a lot of stress and a lot of sorrow, where it would just be 1 a.m. middle of the night, and I'm here hearing this, watching this sound, this particular sound again. Like it just used to feel so disgusting, it used to feel so traumatizing, it used to feel so draining. And I'm there hearing these sounds, looking at my screen. Everywhere is dark, and the only thing illuminating my face is my phone screen, and earpiece plugged in my ears or headsets or whatever. Then before I know, it comes out, I busted the nuts again. And that post-nut clarity hits me, and I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why do I keep doing this to myself? I remember it used to make me feel so bad, and I used to feel so like weak and so sad and so like caged and so trapped. Like, why am I this addicted? Like, why can't I just stop? Why can't I just stay away from it? And it used to cause me a lot of stress. It used to cause me a lot of depression, basically. It used to cause me a lot of despair. Like I wrote so many poems about it, wrote so many stuff about it, thought about it a lot, journaled about it a lot. and it was dark. It's like it was just hard. Like I don't know, it just feels like I was trapped, like I was caged, like this ponton just grabbed me and I couldn't just escape. I even remember this particular night, like many times like that, when I'll be in the middle of busting the nuts, but everywhere is dark, it's night, so nobody can really see. And maybe like my brother would just like barge in to ask me for something, but everywhere is dark, so I just hope he couldn't see me. You never know, you'll be surprised that he actually saw and knew what was going on. I just hope where everywhere was dark, he couldn't see me. There was this other time, so I was there again busting, and my cousin she just like barged in or something. But also everywhere was dark once again, and I was somewhat under the blanket. So I just hope they don't know, because like if they knew, I wouldn't be able to live with that. But I was that down bad. Like it caused me a lot of stress, and I watched every single video on YouTube, how to quit, how to stop, tried all the tactics, tried everything, do push-up, take cold showers, do this, do that, and they just didn't seem to work. Like it's like I just couldn't stop, I just couldn't stay away, and I kept trying and trying, came up with different tactics, different principles, different everything. Like they just didn't work. It never worked for long. Like I used to say, it was in ebbs and flows. Like some periods I'll just go without it for like maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks max, but the maximum I ever went was like 45 days. And while some periods it's just like every single day, but the times it was like every single day was more. Like I just tried so many things, tried marking it, tried counting the days, tried stop not counting the days, tried not thinking about it, tried getting purpose, everything. Like nothing just seemed to work. Then I remember around August this year, this 2024 that is about to end now, I fell sick. So at this point I felt like I'd reached the lowest point of my life. So prior to this, I was like trying to grind and make money online and do online business or whatever, and I basically failed. Like I basically flopped at it, failed in everything I was trying wasn't working. I lost money. Like I just felt like a failure. So around August too, I now fell sick as well. So like I felt physically sick, like it was malaria or something like that. So basically I just felt down, like I felt like I lost everything, like I just couldn't win. So and that felt like the lowest point of my life so far. And right now that I think about it, maybe it was not the lowest, but at the time it did feel low, like it did feel like the lowest. I felt sad, like I felt I'd lost everything, like I just wasn't capable. So eventually, slowly but surely I started to pick myself back up, started making videos again, started to work on myself, started to do this, started to do that. And I just noticed that ever since then, I just stopped. Like the idea of going back to watch porn just disappeared. Like it just went away. It just stopped. Like I just didn't do it anymore. And part of the reason before was, at the time I was sick and I was just recovering. So I was like, how would I just be recovering, taking drugs and, barely having strength to move around, and I'm here thinking of busting out. What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? So I just didn't do it. But eventually when I became myself again, I was normal. Like I just didn't do it. I just never went back. Like it was crazy. Then before I knew it, this was August, then September came around, October came around, November came around. Like time just basically started going, and I just noticed like, wow, it's been like 2 months and I've not posted any nuts. It's been like 3 months now, I've not even gone to watch porn. Like it was that crazy. And eventually, obviously slowly but surely I went back down the rabbit hole and I busted nuts again. But it's almost like when I came back to busting nuts again, it's like it was different now. It was different in the sense that yes, I still busted, and I won't say I completely quit, I completely stopped, but I just didn't feel addicted anymore. I just didn't feel like as addicted. Like to some degree I still feel like this is something I want to completely get away from. But if I'm being very honest with myself, if I'm being very honest with you, like I don't really count the days and all that, but I'll say probably within the last 2 weeks I probably busted it nuts. But it just feels different. It just doesn't feel as traumatizing as it was before. Like it doesn't feel as trapped. Like I don't feel as caged as I was before. Like I don't feel like I'm necessarily a slave to this thing. So then I started to sit down and ask myself, like, what's changed? Like what's happened? Like how is it that from me busting almost every single day and barely able to control myself, and in the middle of the night after busting another nut again, looking up to God and asking like, why am I doing this? Like what has my life come to? Another so now just not caring about it again. Like that was one thing I started to really ponder over, and I came to so many conclusions, but I feel like the biggest, most obvious one that really helped me was just my self-image changed. Like I just noticed that it's changed a lot, and I feel like one of the main things that caused this change was having access to women. So let me explain. Part of the reason why, when I look back and reflected, one of the things I noticed was that part of the reason why I was so addicted was because I felt like I wasn't good enough for any women. I felt like I wasn't good enough for any girls. So basically my coping mechanism was, basically, since I can't get pussy, I can't get bitches, I was like, I go to where it's free, basically, which is just like Pornhub and all that. So, but when I don't know, all of a sudden, I don't even know what's changed. It's like, I don't know, but I just know that something changed in my mind. Like, all of a sudden, I just had this idea that if I really want a girlfriend, I can get one. And to some degree, like, that one is still up for debates. Like, I always debate it in my head, like, do I really need a girlfriend? At this point in my life, I feel like I should be more focused on my goals than girlfriend. But to some degree, like, I'm like 21, bro. Like, bro, at least just date one person. Like, so these thoughts start coming up. But prior to this, like, I almost just never had these thoughts. So it was very interesting that my perception of myself changed. And I just noticed that one of the main things that was causing me, this addiction was basically having this idea that I can't get any girl, like no girl, I'm not good enough for any girl. So, basically the only place to fill that gap, to fill that void, is to go to Pornhub where there's like abundance of girls. But I just like, I don't know, during from August, it's just that mindset just changed. Like, it just left. Like, I don't know, I just stopped believing that, and all of a sudden I just found myself no longer addicted. So I know this video has been a long one, and I hope I don't know if you're able to learn one or two things from it, but I just want to say, if you're going through it, if you're in that dungeon, if you're similar to me and it's 1 a.m. and you're by yourself in the room, headphones in your ears, and that sound again, and like it just comes out, and you're just like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why am I doing this to myself? Just know that it's possible to stop. Like, it's possible to quit. And as hard as this thing is, as impossible as it seems, just know that there's probably just like a one mindset change that is really holding it back. Because the thing is that when that mindset shift happened, obviously sometimes I still use like willpower and like decision making and common sense to say like, no, don't go and watch it. But for most of the time, it's like it just didn't even cross my brain. Like, I just wasn't thinking about it. So just know that most of the times it's probably just like a firmware update. It's just like a shift mentality that has to happen. And it's like, once that shift mentality happens, you won't even necessarily sit down consciously to be like, oh my god, it's already been 1 day, day 2, day 3. Like, you just notice like it's been like a month and a half and I haven't gone to this website. Like, that's very strange for me. Like, by this time normally I would have gone like 7 times already, and I've just not gone any like once. Like, why? Like, what's happened? What's changed? So I just want to know you to know that you're not alone. Like, I went through this stuff and I struggled, and by God's grace I'm coming out of the other side, and to some degree I feel like I'm already like 90% healed. Like, I feel like I'm 90% done. Obviously I'm not perfect, so I still fall down the hole many times. Like I said the last time I posted, it's probably within the last 2 weeks. Yeah, it probably should be more than a week now, but within the last 2 weeks here, about a week, 2 weeks, I did bust a nut, I'll be honest with you. But like, if they could show a graph to show like my busting rates, you would just see like it has dropped significantly. Like, it's so crazy dramatically dropped that like it still amazes me since today that me that was in that position of just being the addict, so like being at the other side of this is a crazy feeling I'm struggling to put towards. But just know that you're not alone, bro, and you'll get through this, trust me.